You grab your morning uji from the local kiosk, pull out your phone, and hit send. The transaction fails. You try to pay your matatu fare. Same thing. A 10-minute network glitch is annoying, but imagine if the system didn't come back online. Imagine a complete 24-hour blackout across the entire country. M-Pesa functions as the core utility that keeps the nation running, as essential as the roads we drive on or the power grids we plug into. Unplugging that infrastructure for a single day would freeze the Kenyan economy dead in its tracks. To understand the weight of that freeze, look at the sheer density of the network. Kenya has a population of 56 million people, yet there are 82 million active M-Pesa accounts. The network actually outnumbers the citizens. Last financial year, those accounts moved 40 trillion Kenyan shillings. That is $309 billion flowing through a single digital pipeline. This chart breaks down exactly what that scale looks like. It compares M-Pesa's annual transaction volume against the total economic output of entire nations. It processes more money than the GDPs of Ecuador, Jordan, and Iceland combined, 3 times Kenya's own GDP. Zooming into a single day, M-Pesa handles 90 million transactions. For context, Kenya's entire formal card network processes only 61 million payments all year. Kenya's economic success relies on a singular system that lacks any viable safety net. By 7:30 a.m. on the day of the blackout, the physical movement of the country halts. Millions of commuters rely on matatus, these local minibuses, but physical cash has largely vanished from circulation. Passengers have stranded, unable to pay, and drivers cannot afford to operate without payment. By 9 a.m., the paralysis spreads from the streets to the offices. Companies trying to run daily payroll hit a wall. Over 600,000 merchants who use the Lipa na M-Pesa payment system find themselves unable to accept money from their customers. At noon, the formal banking sector starts sending out automated SMS alerts. Standard Chartered, Equity, KCB, the major commercial banks have to notify customers that transfers are failing. M-Pesa serves as the primary bridge between everyday Kenyans and their formal bank accounts. When that bridge collapses, the corporate financial tier is cut off from the public. The banking sector effectively loses its front door. By 3 p.m., the crisis hits the healthcare system. The National Hospital Insurance Fund relies heavily on digital payments. Patients needing emergency insulin or urgent care cannot process their insurance. Essential government services, like paying for electricity tokens or passport fees on the e-Citizen platform, are frozen. This hits hardest outside the capital. In isolated regions where physical bank branches are rare, the local M-Pesa agent is the entire financial system. Without that connection, rural communities are cut off from the national economy. Researchers tracking the long-term impact of mobile money found that access to M-Pesa directly lifted 194,000 Kenyan households out of extreme poverty. The data showed that female-headed microbusinesses saw the most significant gains in independence and savings. A blackout also severs access to Feliza, the platform's overdraft facility. Last year, Feliza disbursed 638 billion shillings to users needing to bridge the gap between paychecks or cover immediate emergencies. Shutting down the network strips away the primary financial safety net millions of families use to keep food on the table. This counter illustrates the damage of a single dark day. 25.1 billion shillings, or $194 million, worth of frozen transactions. 600,000 businesses disrupted. 34 million active users locked out of their money. This scenario almost played out recently. In January 2024, the system experienced 2 nationwide outages in a single month, bringing these exact pressure points to the surface. The root of the vulnerability is market concentration. Safaricom controls over 90% of the mobile money sector. When one private entity holds that much of the transactional pie, a server failure is a national emergency called FinTech 2.0, engineered to handle 8,000 transactions every second and build higher resilience into the architecture. While the technology is sophisticated, relying on a single company to carry the economic lifeblood of an entire nation is a precarious strategy. Think about your own habits for a second. When was the last time you paid for something using physical paper money? If you can't remember, you are completely reliant on a single point of failure. The smartest way to navigate this is to build your own backup plan. Keep enough physical cash at home to cover 48 hours of basic expenses. If you run a shop, set up an alternative digital payment method, even if you rarely use it. At the same time, it is worth stepping back to appreciate what this technology has achieved. A mobile app built by a telecom company created a financial inclusion engine that traditional banks couldn't match. The system's immense success is exactly why it represents such a significant vulnerability. Recognizing that fragility is the only way to protect yourself when the screen inevitably freezes.